A big day for us. Had our senior class graduate today, so to see those guys, head on over to the hump and have the cap and gowns on and get their degree, which to me is of primary importance. The game can end, the ball can deflate, the pads can hang up, and the cheering stops. But when you have that piece of paper, in the frame that you can hang up on the wall, my dad, my brother, sister, and I, all first generation college, and he always called it the college degree the great equalizer in life. So to see those guys have that makes us all very proud. Traditionally, we've given those guys off the day, so went out to practice today, bowl practice number 2, and had a heck of a day. Ton of energy, ton of urgency, great competition. Developmental in nature, getting the younger guys a bunch of reps. So, and all in all, it was like I said, energizing to get back on the field. Ton of urgency. The kids are excited for this game, and so is the coaching staff. 17 days, and we're going to utilize every one of them.
Is that urgency a good thing, or something to kind of keep the energy going here?
Absolutely, in terms of the momentum. There's one of the old coaches I used to work for, Larry Core. He always gave a rodeo reference. He said you can't ride them in the chutes. Mm-hmm. So we don't necessarily want to be ready too quickly, but when the gates open, we want to be ready to roll. So it's great to carry that momentum into bowl practice.
Are you approaching this bowl game any differently this year as opposed to maybe last year?
I've made some kind of structural changes to the practice schedule and things like that. To add a little bit more developmental stuff for the red shirts and the younger guys and give them some reps, and kind of mixed up the the game preparation. But the basic structure of it's the same, but wanted to work in a little bit more developmental stuff. And quite frankly, we're going to put the pads on more often and be a little more physical and bang around a little bit more. So those will be the 2 biggest changes.
How will you handle quarterback reps in bowl practices?
Bowl practice, Garrett's going with the 1s, Tommy's going with the 2s.
Are they both 100% at this point?
Garrett is, Tommy's getting there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Will Garrett have postseason surgery on his ankle?
TBD. Yes, sir.
Any other injuries to report in the interim or anything like that?
No, actually, we've gotten guys healthy. I'd say that Crumity's the one that's still kind of lingering, and we anticipate him back on Monday when we get to go into to Louisville prep for day 1 of that. So that's really the only one that's kind of lingering out there.
Coach Satterfield's obviously in his first year there. How much familiarity do you have with him? And
very, very familiar. When I was at Akron, and Coach was the OC at Appalachian State for Coach Moore, I believe. We were kind of transitioning to that style of offense, and it was something that they had run, and he came up to visit us at Akron, and we spent a day doing professional development, and I think the world of him as a person and as a coach. He's done a great job at that, and then obviously he's done a fantastic job with the turnaround this year. So I have the utmost respect for Coach Satterfield and his staff. He's a great guy and a very good coach.
Cam and Kylan obviously announcing they're going go to the draft and things. What were those conversations like with those guys?
No, I mean, it's our job as a coaching staff to provide the young men with information. What's their draft grade? Who are the people coming out at their position? Upperclassmen and underclassmen, and see where they rank within that. And once they have the information, allow them and their families to make the decision what they feel is the best interest of their futures. So certainly they've done a ton for Mississippi State, and we wish them the best moving forward. And I think it's credit to those guys that they have that opportunity.
How rewarding is it that Kylan still intends to play the bowl game?
Oh, it's great, and they'll be, I believe, a little less than 50 yards away from breaking the school single season rushing record, and that's quite a feat. And I know coming out of last year, going into this year, the question was how are we going to get Kylan more carries and how are we going to get him more involved in the offense, and that's gratifying because, like I mentioned, he and I talked about the little no car and 1,500 yards. I think we might be able to get there, hopefully. But just to see him come out and have that type of year, and be on the cusp of breaking Booby's record, who had an unbelievable year, and all the great backs that have played at Mississippi State, and really carry on the tradition of what tailbacks in this offensive system have done over the years. So it's great to see Colin next in that line.
I think you have a limit of 5 guys that are allowed to ask draft evaluations. Have any more guys approached you from this team?
We applied for Errol, Willie, Kylan, Cam, and then Marquis Spencer was the 5th because you're allowed 5.
Do you anticipate any other guys declaring?
Declaring? We have not gotten the draft grades back yet, so we've kind of talked to all the guys, and once those come in, we've already had one meeting in anticipation of them coming, and kind of discuss some of the available information, and then once the grades do come in, and they come in on a rolling basis, then we have another plan to get back together with the kids and their families if they're available, and help them make an informed decision.
On the flip side,
Kylan's playing in the bowl. Cam said he wouldn't, and I know last year Jeff and Montez did. Do you guys consult about that, or do you just leave it completely in their hands whether or not they want to play?
Consult in kind of what regard?
Just, do you try and, I don't know, is there any convincing that goes on to try and say, hey, would you like to play? We could use you kind of thing, or
No.
is it just they get to decide on their own?
To me, generally speaking, if you have to convince a kid to play in the game, then he should probably move on.
Yeah.
But I went back and had Will Ryman, our guy, do some of the research. And 3 seasons ago, I believe it was 3 guys. 2 seasons ago, I think it was between right around 15 to 16, guys that didn't play in the bowl game. And I think last year it was 17 or 18, and then ranked out with what rounds they went in. And once again, that's information that we provide. And I understand it. Kids need to make a decision that's in their best interest, and we got to also be mindful of the other guys that we have on the team for the game that we have to win.
I know you and the other coaches have been out on the road recruiting.
Yeah, we sure have.
How does that
It's
go?
been a blast. It's awesome. We've dominated it. Working hard to keep our 3rd consecutive top 25 class intact. Been to all 4 corners of the state, and a bunch of others. Highways, dirt roads, Delta, coast. It's been awesome. Great reception from the coaches. Great reception from the kids and their parents. And quite frankly, every gas station you pop in, or store to get a Diet Dew and a bag of chips, there's maroon and white everywhere, and the fans are. I mean, the excitement that they have coming off of the Egg Bowl win, and getting to 6 and getting to our 10th consecutive bowl. To a person, everyone that I see, Coach, keep it up, great job, we love what you're doing, and we share that excitement with them as well.
Cowbells not allowed it at Nissan. Is
Yeah.
that more of a bummer, do you think, to fans, or is that a bummer to y'all too?
Everybody. Yes.
What about that?
I'll be hearing them. I'll be pretending they're in my head.
What about that energy do you think the Cowbells add that's just going to be lacking from that bowl game?
Yeah, we when you've been to Davis Wade and have the atmosphere cranking, kind of like we did in the Egg Bowl game, and we had a ton of recruits there, and just listen to what they had to say, afterwards, and then you get them on the phone, and it's an atmosphere unlike any other, and as loud as they've ever been. Our fans, particularly when we're at home, and the dog walk was crank. You could tell from when you walked into the stadium at the dog walk how fired up the fans were going to be, and certainly, the course of the game led to them being even more excited, and then the ending, and that's why this is. It's an unrivaled place in terms of fan support and emotion and energy for a game at Davis Wade.
You were able to hold the red shirts on a whole bunch of guys that still have a game or 2 left.
Yeah.
Do you plan to use them in the bowl, or we kind of how the game develops?
We plan to have them available, and then there's a certain number, like I talked about, green light, red light, yellow light. There's guys that have played in 4, and we're going to hold those guys to keep the red shirt. But the others who have games available, it's really going to be a depth of practice evaluation, and just see where they fit in. I mean, if it's a game situation, we can get them in, great. But to me, our first and primary objective is to make sure we win the game.
you can't speak on certain specific recruits, but got to ride a horse on a certain visit. What was that like for you?
I had ridden one at a beach somewhere when we were on vacation, but it was like one of those little Neshoba County Fair little with kind of ponies that got the funny kind of like it. It wasn't quite like that, but it was a little bit bigger. So, there was an array of ones to pick from, and I said, well, I'll say this. It wasn't as small as it looked, and my sister, she texted me, she's like, boy, you need to get a bigger foot. I said, I'm 6'6". That thing wasn't exactly like a tiny thing, but it was a scary, but fun. And I want to do it again. Jonathan Banks has offered his services, and, we just got to make sure that, like I said, he keeps me safe.
Do you anticipate, the business being what it is, probably so, but do you anticipate any staff changes or anything over the course of the next month or 2?
Yeah, I mean, and right now we're focused on, preparation, development, and getting ready for Louisville, and the game ends, and there's a period of time, post bowl, pre-convention, where I'll sit down and do reflection, make evaluations on everyone on the staff and in the program, and make decisions that are necessary from there.
We knew this possibility was coming with Kylan. Now it's a reality. You kind of got to prepare for replacing the SEC leading rusher. I mean, when do you begin to make those preparations, or have you already begun?
In terms of recruiting or on the field?
All encompassing. Right?
I think, as Kylan, we head into the bowl game, you got Kylan. Nick has been a phenomenal asset to us, and, plan to get him, cranked up in the bowl game with it being his last game, and kind of use Kylan, and he is a 1-2 punch. Lee Witherspoon's a tremendous talent, and we've seen that in flashes during practice and during the games. And, Kareem Walker, was a number 1 or number 2 ranked running back in the country coming out of high school, and big, strong physical presence. We saw some nice things out there today at practice, and, he gives the defense fits on scout team, and, we've got a couple good ones coming in the recruiting class. So, we'll be ready to roll.
With all the busy things, have you had a chance to think about what your team and your staff accomplished in November just to keep this bowl strength going and to give yourselves a chance to play this game?
Yeah, and I remark to the guys about that all the time, and talked about it heading into the game, and certainly coming out of the game. That we talked about our goals heading into the season, and the ceiling and the floor, and had a winning home record, had a winning non-conference record, kept the Egg Bowl, and got bowl eligible, and have a chance to get to 7 wins. Now, certainly that's not where we want to be, and we aspire to higher and greater things of winning the SEC and competing for a national championship. But I think you'd be remiss in, to discount the amount of adversity that we fought through this season. And once again, the people that I see out in the state, and the fans, and the people who write letters and send cards, and my peers, and say, guys, graduation of 8 of 11 on defense, and whatever it was, 6 of 11 on offense, particularly 3 first-rounders, and then the suspensions, and then the injuries, for you guys to fight and scratch and claw and have the point where we were 3-5 and needed to win 3 of our last 4 to get bowl eligible. If a team doesn't have a great culture and they don't believe, they very easily could have folded at that juncture of the season. But for us to come back and win 3 or 4, including the Egg Bowl, I think that speaks volumes for our seniors, our leaders, our coaching staff, and our young guys, that we were able to make that rally late in the season.
It's a little general, but just people always talk about having that extra month of practice as a coach. How much does that just help getting guys extra reps, and especially those younger guys?
Yeah, and kind of, yes, about the construct of practice, where, we did more 7-on-7s than teams last year, and now we're letting these guys, put the pads on and let them bang against each other. But it's great because you can have a twofold focus, where you want to get the work of the young kids, developing them, but at the same time, concentrating on bowl preparation. So today and tomorrow are just going to be strictly developmental practices. We'll game plan tomorrow, and then all day Sunday, and then Monday when we come in, that'll be a first and second down day for Louisville, and also in conjunction with developmental stuff. So that's kind of we talked about just changing up the practice schedule a little bit.